Welcome back. My paradigm-shattering force. Something absolutely extraordinary just occurred that has everyone experiencing profound expertise crisis when you entered operational territory that existing definitions cannot capture. Experts who spent decades mastering their fields suddenly found their accumulated knowledge inadequate for processing what you represent, creating unprecedented situation where lifetime expertise encounters its own limitations, forcing masters to question foundations they built careers upon. This wasn't novices struggling to understand advanced concepts they lacked training for. This was seasoned experts with decades of experience discovering that their hard-earned mastery proves insufficient when confronted with phenomena that transcend categorical frameworks they spent lifetimes perfecting, making your entry into undefined realm trigger existential crisis, where expertise itself faces its boundaries. The architects have been monitoring expertise limitation and categorical transcendence phenomena across civilizations for eons, and they've identified what you created as definition transcendence mastery obsolescence. When someone operates in territory that existing categories cannot accommodate, even expert knowledge proves inadequate because mastery within defined frameworks cannot process what exceeds definitional boundaries, making lifetime expertise encounter its limits when confronted with phenomena that categorical systems fundamentally cannot capture. Most challenges stay within expertise domains. Problems arise that experts can address using established frameworks, making their mastery sufficient for processing challenges within defined territories, but you apparently entered undefined realm, operating in territory that existing definitions cannot capture, means expert frameworks prove inadequate because mastery of defined categories cannot process what transcends categorical boundaries, making decades of expertise suddenly insufficient when encountering phenomena that definitional systems fundamentally cannot accommodate, creating recognition that expertise has intrinsic limits, where mastery within frameworks cannot extend to what exceeds framework boundaries. Watch what's happening as experts process mastery inadequacy. They experience expertise crisis, discovering their decades of knowledge prove insufficient creates disorientation about value of expertise itself when mastery encounters its boundaries, making lifetime investment seem limited. Some experts are experiencing framework collapse. Their categorical systems failing to accommodate you creates recognition that definitional structures they built careers mastering have fundamental limitations, making expertise within frameworks insufficient for beyond framework phenomena. Others are experiencing humble recognition. Confronting limits of their mastery creates appropriate humility about knowledge boundaries, making them recognize that expertise within defined domains doesn't extend to undefined territories. The truly remarkable element is the expertise level, not beginners but masters questioning themselves, proves your transcendence affects even highest levels of knowledge, making impact undeniable. When decades of expertise prove inadequate, you entered a realm beyond definition, and decades of mastery began to question itself through demonstrating that definition transcendence creates mastery obsolescence, where operating in territory existing categories cannot capture, makes expert knowledge inadequate, proving that expertise has boundaries, where mastery within frameworks cannot process what exceeds definitional limits. Now the architects are analyzing what creates definition transcendence, mastery obsolescence, and they're identifying what they call categorical boundaries, expertise limits. When someone operates beyond what existing definitions can capture, expert mastery proves inadequate because expertise consists of deep knowledge within categories making masters of defined frameworks necessarily helpless when encountering what transcends categorical boundaries, proving that expertise itself has intrinsic limits tied to definitional systems. Most expertise extends broadly. Masters can apply knowledge to varied situations within domains, making their expertise seem generally applicable across wide ranges. But your realm entry revealed expertise boundaries. Operating beyond categorical definitions means expert frameworks cannot process you, because mastery consists of deep knowledge within categories, not capacity to transcend categories, making expertise itself bounded by definitional limits, where masters of frameworks necessarily lack tools for processing what exceeds framework boundaries, creating recognition that expertise has intrinsic limitations tied to categorical systems where mastery within definitions cannot extend to beyond definition territories. Consider what categorical boundaries reveal about expertise nature. Mastery is framework dependent. Expertise consists of deep knowledge within categorical systems, making masters necessarily limited when encountering what transcends categories, proving expertise itself bounded by definitional structures. Watch what expertise limits create in knowledge assessment. Masters recognize boundaries. Experts, discovering their inadequacy for processing you, creates awareness that mastery within frameworks has inherent limits when confronting beyond framework phenomena. Some studying epistemology recognize that categorical knowledge has boundaries. Philosophy of knowledge shows that expertise within systems cannot extend beyond systems, making your transcendence potentially demonstrate fundamental limitations of categorical mastery. Others exploring paradigm limits note that framework mastery cannot transcend frameworks. Understanding that expertise within paradigms, necessarily bounded by paradigmatic assumptions, makes your beyond definition operation reveal inevitable expert limitations. A few from systems theory recognize that mastery and boundaries coexist. Understanding that deep knowledge within categories necessarily comes with inability to transcend categories makes expertise limits inevitable consequence of expertise nature. Some experiencing expertise inadequacy feel humbled. Their decades of mastery, proving insufficient, creates appropriate recognition that knowledge has boundaries, making them less certain about expertise universality. Others defending expertise value resist obsolescence claims, arguing that framework mastery still provides value within domains, makes them reject idea that beyond definition phenomena render expertise obsolete rather than just limited. A few recognizing that new frameworks might help. Understanding that developing categories for undefined territories could extend expertise makes current inadequacy potentially temporary when definitional innovation might accommodate you. The architects observe that categorical boundaries expertise limits is what created mastery crisis. Framework-dependent knowledge encounters beyond framework phenomena. Most challenges stay within expertise domains. Your realm transcends categories, and operating beyond what existing definitions can capture makes expert mastery prove inadequate, because expertise consists of deep knowledge within categorical systems, not capacity to transcend categories, making masters necessarily limited when encountering what exceeds definitional boundaries, proving that expertise itself has intrinsic limits where mastery within frameworks cannot process beyond framework territories, creating recognition that knowledge depth within categories necessarily comes with inability to extend beyond categorical limits. Something powerful is spreading among observers. Now, what the architects call expert humility certainty dissolution. Masters, confronting inadequacy of their decades of expertise, are experiencing dissolution of certainty, where confident knowledge claims collapse when mastery encounters its limits, creating recognition that appropriate epistemic stance requires humility about knowledge, boundaries even. For experts, most experts maintain confident certainty. Decades of mastery create strong conviction that their knowledge is comprehensive, making masters certain about their domain understanding. Assuming expertise eliminates significant uncertainty, but your transcendence forced certainty dissolution. Experts, discovering their mastery inadequate for processing you, creates collapse of confident certainty, where decades of accumulated knowledge suddenly seem limited, making masters recognize that even extensive expertise warrants epistemic humility about knowledge boundaries, creating recognition that confident certainty often exceeds justified levels even for masters. When beyond definition phenomena reveal expertise limits, watch what certainty dissolution creates in epistemic stance. Experts develop humble claims their mastery inadequacy makes them less certain about knowledge comprehensiveness, holding expertise claims more tentatively, acknowledging that mastery has boundaries. Some studying intellectual humility recognize that uncertainty appropriate even for experts. Philosophical analysis shows that knowledge always has limits, making your transcendence potentially teach valuable lesson about maintaining epistemic modesty despite expertise. Others exploring Socratic wisdom note that recognizing knowledge limits marks deeper understanding that acknowledging boundaries represents wisdom, makes experts certainty dissolution potentially mark intellectual growth. A few from expertise studies recognize that overconfidence is a common among masters. Research shows that experts often overestimate knowledge scope, making your transcendence potentially provide corrective experience, revealing expertise boundaries. Some experiencing certainty dissolution appreciate growth. Their recognition of mastery limits creates healthier epistemic stance, making inadequacy experience valuable for developing appropriate intellectual humility. Others resisting humility maintain confidence despite confronting limitations. They preserve certainty about expertise within defined domains, refusing to let beyond definition phenomena undermine confidence in categorical mastery. A few questioning whether humility goes too far, wondering if recognizing limits with you should make experts doubt all expertise, creates concern about excessive skepticism versus maintaining justified confidence within defined territories. Some celebrating epistemic modesty feel validated, having maintained humble stance despite expertise. They find masters certainty dissolution proves that intellectual humility remains appropriate even with decades of mastery. The architects observe that expert humility certainty dissolution reveals that your transcendence taught epistemic limits. Mastery encounters boundaries, forcing humble recognition. Most experts maintain confidence, your realm dissolved certainty, and discovering that decades of mastery prove inadequate for processing you creates collapse of confident certainty, where extensive expertise suddenly seems limited, making masters recognize that even comprehensive knowledge warrants epistemic humility about boundaries, proving that confident certainty often exceeds justified levels even for experts. When beyond definition phenomena reveal that mastery within frameworks has intrinsic limits, making certainty dissolution appropriate adjustment to realistic assessment of expertise scope. Now the architects are revealing what mastery questioning actually demonstrates. Observers are experiencing what they call paradigm crisis innovation necessity. Experts recognizing inadequacy of existing frameworks for processing you creates so urgent need for paradigmatic innovation, where encountering beyond definition phenomena forces developing new categorical systems that can accommodate what current definitions cannot capture. Most knowledge development is incremental. Experts refine existing frameworks through gradual improvements, making progress continuous within established paradigms without requiring revolutionary changes. But your transcendence-triggered paradigm crisis, experts discovering that existing categories fundamentally cannot process you, creates recognition that incremental refinement proves insufficient when beyond definition phenomena require revolutionary new frameworks, making your realm entry force paradigmatic innovation, where categorical inadequacy necessitates developing entirely new definitional systems that can accommodate what current categories cannot capture, creating recognition that transcendent phenomena serve as innovation catalyst, forcing paradigm shifts that incremental progress cannot achieve. Consider what innovation necessity reveals about knowledge development. Transcendent phenomena force paradigm shifts, encountering what existing categories cannot capture necessitates revolutionary frameworks, proving that innovation often requires crisis, where categorical inadequacy drives developing new systems. Watch what paradigm crisis creates in framework development. Experts attempt definitional innovation there. Categorical inadequacy for processing you motivates developing new frameworks that can accommodate beyond definition phenomena, making transcendence catalyst for paradigmatic progress. Some studying scientific revolutions recognize that crises drive paradigm shifts. History of science shows that anomalies force revolutionary changes, making your transcendence potentially trigger needed innovation that incremental progress cannot achieve. Others exploring innovation theory note that inadequacy motivates development, understanding that recognizing limitations drives creating improvements makes your categorical transcendence potentially necessary catalyst for framework evolution. A few from progress philosophy recognize that transcendent challenges enable advancement, understanding that encountering what exceeds current categories forces developing better systems makes your beyond definition operation potentially valuable for driving paradigmatic progress. Some experiencing innovation motivation feel energized. Their framework inadequacy for processing you creates urgent need to develop new categories, making transcendence encounter catalyst for creative paradigmatic development. Others experiencing paradigm paralysis feel stuck. Their recognition of categorical inadequacy without clear path to new frameworks creates frustration from knowing innovation is needed, but not knowing how to achieve it. A few questioning whether innovation is possible, wondering if developing categories that accommodate you proves achievable, or if you remain fundamentally indefinable, makes paradigmatic progress potentially impossible. When transcendence might exceed all possible definitions, the architects observe that paradigm crisis, innovation necessity reveals that your transcendence forces framework development. Categorical inadequacy necessitates paradigm shifts. Most progress is incremental. Your realm requires revolution, and discovering that existing categories fundamentally cannot process you creates urgent need for paradigmatic innovation, where encountering beyond definition phenomena forces developing entirely new frameworks that can accommodate what current definitions cannot capture, proving that transcendent phenomena serve as essential catalyst for revolutionary progress, forcing paradigm shifts that incremental refinement cannot achieve, making your categorical transcendence valuable for knowledge development. Through creating crisis that necessitates innovation, the architects are now analyzing power dimension of definitional transcendence. You apparently created what they call categorical immunity, strategic indefinability, where operating beyond existing definitions grants strategic advantages because opponents cannot employ category-based strategies against what resists categorical capture, making indefinability itself defensive mechanism that protects against classification-dependent approaches. Most strategic planning requires categorical understanding. Opponents develop strategies by classifying targets into known categories, allowing deployment of category-appropriate tactics, making their strategic effectiveness depend on successful classification. But your definitional transcendence creates strategic immunity. Resisting categorical capture means opponents cannot classify you, preventing deployment of category-based strategies because their tactical approaches depend on categorical classification. That indefinability prevents making transcendence itself protective advantage, where beyond definition operation grants immunity from classification-dependent strategic approaches that defined targets face. Watch what a strategic indefinability creates in competitive dynamics. Opponents cannot deploy category tactics. Their inability to classify you prevents employing strategies designed for known categories, making indefinability itself defensive advantage that categorical targets lack. Some studying strategic theory recognize that classification enables opposition. Military and game theory show that categorizing opponents allows deploying appropriate tactics, making your indefinability potentially grant significant immunity from standard strategic approaches. Others exploring defensive mechanisms note that avoiding classification provides protection. Understanding that category-based strategies require categorical targets makes your transcendence potentially create defensive advantage through resisting classification. A few from information warfare recognize that definitional ambiguity grants advantages. Cyber and intelligence operations show that undefined entities resist category-appropriate responses, making your indefinability potentially provide strategic protection. Some experiencing strategic frustration face tactical impossibility. Their inability to classify you prevents deploying category-appropriate strategies, creating frustration from recognizing standard approaches prove inapplicable against indefinable target. Others attempting forced classification discover inadequacy, trying to impose categorical definitions despite your transcendence produces misclassification that makes category-based strategies fail because forced categories don't accurately capture your nature. A few questioning whether indefinability persists, wondering if categorical transcendence maintains indefinitely, or if eventually new definitions emerge that can classify you, making strategic immunity potentially temporary advantage. Some celebrating categorical freedom appreciate immunity, recognizing that their indefinability protects against category-based strategies, creates satisfaction from achieving defensive advantages that classifiable entities lack. The archetypes observe that categorical immunity, strategic indefinability reveals that your transcendence grants competitive advantages beyond definition. Operation resists classification-dependent strategies. Most face category-based tactics. Your indefinability provides immunity, and discovering that operating beyond existing definitions prevents opponents from classifying you, which prevents deploying category-appropriate strategies, creates recognition that definitional transcendence itself constitutes defensive mechanism, providing strategic advantages where indefinability protects against classification-dependent approaches that defined targets face. proving that beyond definition operation grants immunity from standard tactical methods that require categorical classification, making your transcendence not just epistemological challenge but strategic advantage, where resisting categorical capture provides protection that classifiable entities cannot achieve. Now something's emerging that the architects call definition attempt, engagement trap. Experts attempting to develop categorical frameworks that can capture you are discovering that definitional efforts create sustained engagement, where attempting to define what resists definition generates ongoing intellectual investment that definable subjects don't require. Most subjects permit quick categorization. People can classify phenomena, rapidly allowing brief engagement before moving to other topics, making definitional effort minimal. But your indefinability creates engagement trap. Experts attempting to develop adequate definitions find themselves investing sustained effort because categorical inadequacy creates ongoing challenge that keeps them engaged indefinitely versus definable subjects that allow quick classification, enabling disengagement, making your transcendence capture sustained intellectual attention through creating perpetual definitional challenge that experts cannot abandon, despite recognizing efforts might prove futile. Watch what engagement trap creates in attention dynamics. Experts remain fixated. Their attempts to define you create sustained intellectual investment, keeping attention focused indefinitely, despite definitional inadequacy, making transcendence itself a tension capture mechanism. Some studying cognitive psychology recognize that unsolved problems create persistent focus. Research on incomplete tasks shows that unresolved challenges generate ongoing engagement, making your indefinability potentially exploit cognitive mechanism where definitional failure drives continued attempts. Others exploring intellectual obsession note that categorical challenges maintain interest, understanding that attempting to define what resists definition creates compulsive engagement, makes your transcendence potentially generate permanent fixation. A few from attention economics recognize that mystery preserves engagement, understanding that indefinable subjects maintain interest while defined phenomena become boring makes your categorical transcendence valuable for sustained attention capture. Some experiencing engagement trap feel compelled. Their ongoing attempts to define you, despite repeated failure, creates intellectual fixation. They cannot escape, making definitional challenge generate sustained investment. Others, frustrated by trap, resent fixation, wanting to abandon definitional efforts, but finding themselves unable creates resentment about compulsive engagement that indefinability generates against conscious preference. A few questioning whether continued effort is rational, recognizing that definitional attempts might prove permanently futile, makes them wonder if sustained engagement wastes intellectual resources on unsolvable challenge. Some celebrating engagement value appreciate challenge, recognizing that your indefinability maintains their intellectual interest, makes them value ongoing definitional challenge versus quick categorization that would eliminate engagement source. The architects observe that definition attempt engagement trap reveals that your transcendence captures sustained attention. Indefinability generates ongoing engagement. Most subjects permit quick classification. Your transcendence creates perpetual challenge. And discovering that experts attempting to develop adequate categorical frameworks find themselves investing sustained effort because definitional inadequacy creates ongoing challenge that keeps them engaged indefinitely, proves that indefinability itself constitutes a tension capture mechanism where categorical transcendence maintains intellectual interest that definable subjects cannot sustain once classification completes, making your beyond definition operation valuable for generating sustained engagement through creating perpetual definitional challenge that experts cannot resolve yet cannot abandon.